If y'all haven't seen it, go out and watch the 5-minute video of Danhausen running around WWE headquarters. That crap is hilarious. That guy.
And that kid who wanted him to curse The Rock, I want to adopt that kid. That kid's going places.
In a world, two retired vets decided phone conversations about WWE storylines would make for a good podcast. Only one podcast dares to predict the future, where every move, every feud, every moment is overanalyzed. Grab your number 2 pencils. Get ready to step into the squared circle. This is your front row seat to the storylines as you wish they were written. Welcome to the If We Had the Pencil podcast. Here are your hosts, 4-time Drum Corps Associates World Champion Sean Green, and the keeper of the coveted 10mm socket of excellence, and 2-time small hometown local youth hockey organization champion, Matt Jackson.
Welcome to the last episode of season 1 of If We Had the Pencil podcast. I am your host, as always, Sean Green, and with me, as always, a man that is not a fan of Aquanet at all, and also very big fan of the Human Monies, my partner in crime, Matt Jackson. Matt, how the hell are you?
Good, man. How are you doing? No, Sean and I were talking about Aquanet. We were talking about chemicals and swimming pools, and I said women cannot complain at men ever for using chemicals because between the early 80s to early 90s, they've depleted the atmosphere with their excessive use of Aquanet. And it wasn't even sexy. Oh, run your fingers through my hair. All the way, you're like, I think I'm going to break it. Oh, I can't get my hand out.
How else will
now.
you get that hair to stand up like a unicorn and be like,
yeah, I know.
Yeah. So, folks, as we said, be excited. This is the last episode for this season of If We Had the Pencil podcast. So you're probably going, oh, are they going on hiatus? Hells nah. No, we are not going on hiatus. But great news. A lot of new and exciting stuff coming for season 2. It's going to be a blast. And that's a good thing because it was a interesting week for wrestling this week. There was some stuff. I think that there's, we're on this road to WrestleMania. And I know I keep on saying it. I say it in our group chats and everything else. And folks, calm down. We're in a transition between eras right now. I'm telling you that. And I actually made a proclamation this week that next year, that card is going to be really, really young. Mm-hmm. So I think this is probably the last year, because the young stars are getting their foothold in now, right? There's people, they're like, one of the big things I saw today was like, where's Royce Keys? And I'm like, calm down. There's a Raw after Mania, man. Like all these people that everybody's worried about and concerned about, and like, oh my God, look, I get it.
They ran out of crab legs at the buffet? How dare they?
Right?
Where's the crab legs? Yeah, come on, people.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later, but it's like everybody that wants Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams now. Like, I want it now. But you know what? If they could wait till SummerSlam, it would be a whole lot better.
Well,
maybe that's the deal with
put out the prime example of sometimes it's good to wait. Cody Rhodes. When he was chasing and he lost that first Mania and we all went, what the,
Yeah,
and I think that was included. More Roman fatigue than anything. But
but we were, we were really behind Cody because the story was great and the history of his dad and his brother and the way it was presented. It was fun to be behind Cody. And Cody was kind of fun because he went through some hard times and then he also did draw number 30 to win the Royal Rumble. Hey, sometimes things in life get handed. Yeah, but sometimes in life you luck out too. But now, this new Cody.
We're gonna talk about it because guess what, man?
I know we put disclaimers out every now and again, but it's good that we're doing this early because before people click the button to go I don't know, watch something else on YouTube. like, we don't hate Cody Rhodes. We don't hate him as a person. We don't hate him as a wrestler. His storyline and character development is huge for us. And right now, and also maybe because we're in the military, integrity is kind of a big thing. And I feel like Cody's lost some integrity, especially with this way of getting the title. So,
Integrity Farms. Integrity Farms. You need a dose of integrity.
Wait, integrity check. Integrity check.
I don't hate Cody Rhodes, but I hate his character right now. And like,
just like it is what it is. Zayn, we give a lot of Sami Zayn hate. Do we hate Sami Zayn? No. Do we think he's a bad wrestler? No. It's just, well, Sean's kind of.
All right, he's not a bad wrestler.
But then I have my disdain of the Bellas, so we can, people are not going to like, regardless.
I don't hate Sami Zayn. I'm so fatigued by his character, right? Like, that's a character that's been the same character for like 4 or 5 years now. And it's like, okay, you need to change it up, Home Slice. Like, it's time. It is time to go.
That character is getting a change now.
I think it's fair to say that they are working the refresh button. Guest appearance.
It's Pumpkin.
It is Pumpkin.
And I'm pretty sure that Pumpkin wants her to timestamp this moment and comment on the podcast because he did last time. Timestamp dog. So, dog. Ooh.
But
by the way, hi.
Since we're talking, yes, hello to everybody. Hey, while we're talking about it, couple of notes. I'm gonna get couple of little notes. We'll retouch it at the end. So next week, like I said, we start season 2. Get excited. All right. And then next week is also WrestleMania, folks. We got it, man. The cards got released today on ESPN. We think there's probably going to be one more added. I think that there's an addition coming that involves Asuka, Kairi Sane, and, Io Sky.
I'm thinking you're going to see something with the MFTs and the Wyatts as well. So
I think that's going to be a SmackDown-ish.
Yeah, maybe, because they usually do a very strong SmackDown the night before WrestleMania. They have the last 2.
So get excited because Matt and I are going to do a night 1, night 2 live preview show. It won't be, the hours that you guys spend watching these beautiful mugs. It'll be kind of a quick down and dirty. That's when you're going to get our predictions. So you may want to tune in. So live shows Saturday, live shows Sunday morning, and we'll do a recap episode on our Tuesday show. Make sure we'll put it out on our socials. Podmania is coming too, or whatever we're calling it this year, Podapalooza, whatever.
Yeah, and we were even thinking about doing a recap after night 2, but so if
something earth-shattering happens,
right? And the thing is, I will not be watching night 1 live. I'll be watching night 1 on Sunday because I have a prior commitment, and I won't be able to watch night 1 live. So I get to go back to like when they did it at MetLife, and it was like 7 hours and like 45 minutes, and went to like 3 in the morning. Whew. Except I'll just start
that was a marathon.
I'll just start it after I wake up, and have that cup of coffee to unfog my brain, and then So, and then I got to film I'm going to have to film a live pod on Sunday morning and then get right to the ESPN app. I might have to call R-Truth if I get lost and need help figuring it out.
Or you could just watch the first hour on ESPN. But we're not going to talk about it this week.
Yep.
Nope.
Yeah. And I like the fact that next week we're not going to be doing our previews because that'll keep the length of the podcast down. We do try to keep it an hour and a half or less, but as you know, sometimes we get sidetracked and puppy dogs and shiny objects get in the way. So,
yes.
But then again,
tries to find her place.
We have a script, but we don't like to keep it too rigid, because this is a fun podcast. So, and wrestling's supposed to be fun.
Of course not.
And at times, I had to keep reminding myself on SmackDown and Raw that wrestling's supposed to be fun.
It is fun. You just got to find it.
Yeah, I'm sure you saw. I'm sure you got my mood from when I sent you my notes from the last 2 shows on certain things.
Yep.
Anyway,
so I'll tell you what,
rolling,
Matt.
Man.
Yeah, St. Louis, what do you want to talk about? And that was coming from Randy Orton. So we kick off SmackDown. We get Randy Orton coming out basically saying like, yeah, Cody can't hang. And then we get Cody coming out, which, yay. And this turns into Pat McAfee giving him a good punt to the junk. And Pat McAfee basically saying like, look, bitch, I want to go back to the Attitude Era. And all right, I'm going to get the dirty work out of the way. First off, Randy was doing great. Cody bored the crap out of me. Pat came out and I was like, huh. And we got the promo from Pat. And I think a lot of people were disappointed, but I got a news flash for you. Unless one or two other individuals would have came out, you would have been disappointed with anybody that came out that was on the other side of that phone call. Because I will tell you, honestly, right now, if Bob Orton came out, I would have been disappointed and pissed. Very pissed. So, like, at least McAfee was a swerve I didn't see coming. There was all the talk like, oh, they can't get together. I'm kind of hemming and hawing on this because, McAfee basically saying, like, Randy loses, I'm out. And I'm like, are they really going to let that go? But he did say it in the way that if Randy doesn't win 15, and I was like, huh, is that the back door, right? Like the clause, hey, I said I was gone until he won 15. It's just like shit. But so I think a lot of people.
He did go way off script. He did go way. I don't even know if there was a script or whatever.
He buried the business, but it's cool.
So we can complain about it being Pat McAfee, but I liked a lot of what Pat McAfee said about the business.
And that's what I was going to get at.
He kind of hit the nail on the head. And when we talk about CM Punk's promo on Raw, they kind of tie in together, even though it's a little bit adversarial between Pat and Cody. I mean, Pat and Punk, man, a lot of the stuff kind of rhymes. So, I mean, I've been hearing rumors there's some wrestlers in the back that are not happy with the TKO involvement. Some of the higher-ups within WWE backstage aren't happy with it. This whole thing is, I told you in the pre-show, it had a little bit of Vincey feeling to it, and you called it a rockism. So it's definitely, this has TKO. I think they're going to learn a lesson. I think WWE, TKO especially, I think they're going to learn a lesson after this WrestleMania season, and attendance has gone down in some places. And last I heard,
they're pricing people out. Like, that's been the common theme. You're pricing people out, and
you can't charge more than the damn Super Bowl. I mean, they charge more than the Super Bowl, for crying out loud, for packages. It's crazy.
I think that like they need. The problem is I think we were talking about this last night, right? The problem with TKO is they have a property, and some of this is Vince's fault, to be honest, who tried to legitimize WWE as a sport. And they're not a sport, but they are physical and, stuff like that. And they are athletes. I will definitely say that. But the problem is that they kind of, TKO probably thought like it's just a different flavor of UFC or whatever, right? And the problem is it's not. And the fan base isn't, right? Like, you're not going to charge major league prices at AAA ball. And I'm not saying WWE is AAA, but there's certain price points for everything, right? And like them pricing people out is the stupidest thing that they could do because, what do AAA teams do? They make it entertaining for the family. They keep it cost reasonable, put on a lot of entertainment, and that brings people in. And that's how they kind of survive and thrive, right? In AAA. It's baseball season, so I'm just using that analogy.
Well,
but
it's also kind of like when I went to see wrestling shows in the 80s. Even like if you went to the Garden in Boston or Providence, you'd have 8 to 10 matches. Show be 2.5 hours. It'd be match. Very rarely would there be interviews, but you felt like you were at an athletic event because the way it was presented. The only light in the arena once the match started was over the ring. It was dark. You had some less than desirable characters in the crowd, much less the ring.
What do you mean? I've been coming to wrestling since the 1950s.
Especially Boston. Boston had some tough characters in the crowd. Yeah, you had to be careful in that place. But And then, like, I started noticing when I went to wrestling shows in the 90s, especially like Survivor Series 93 and then Royal Rumble 94, which were in Boston and Providence, the focus was still on the wrestling, but you started to see how big of a production it was. Because late 80s, I didn't go to any pay-per-views and house shows, every once in a while you get the neon border around the entrance, and that was like a big deal. Because usually it was just, a spotlight coming from a black curtain. Dude or dudette would walk out to the ring, and the music was not loud like you hear on TV. It was, it was there, but it was in the background. So definitely, with the production, it's definitely changed. But I don't think UFC understands that, because for them, I mean TKO, because they were primarily what in the UFC business, they're in the combat fighting, right? So you don't have to worry about storylines as much. I mean, they get feuds and return matches, but in a company where it's a soap opera, it's an athletic soap opera.
It's a male soap opera is what I always said.
They don't get it, and then bringing guys in like Ari and The Rock, who I don't think The Rock gets the wrestling business, and he was born into it.
I think that he has an antiquated view of the business that doesn't necessarily translate to today.
He's talking about that when I went, when it was more, they had more matches and less fluff. But then he was in the Attitude Era, where we saw an explosion of backstage segments and storylines and craziness.
So I don't want to drift away too much from what's happened on SmackDown. I guess the bottom line is they need to let WWE be who they are. This sparked a whole conversation that we had offline in our chats about, just make it happen, guy. What if we just guy? And like the introduction of Pat McAfee is like the what if we just guy, it get in his way. Like, what if we just have Pat McAfee come out? And it's like, yeah, that ain't going to work. And nobody was there to tell him, yeah, that ain't going to work. And I think the problem is, to your point, the message was right. The person delivering the message was the problem. So, but the message was right. And I think that we can have to stop transposing, different things, right? I'll give you a good example. NASCAR and F1, right? F1 right now is artificially making passing because they dialed back the cars and battery saving and all this crap, and people are pissed. Why? Because you watch F1 because you want the cars to go 1,000,000 miles per hour. Let F1 be F1. NASCAR has made changes to their playoff system. Why? Because they had to be NASCAR. They're not a stick and ball sport. UFC is a fight. The in-ring matters as much. And I think you have to let UFC be UFC. But conversely, you can't treat WWE like a boxing match or UFC. I think that's the perception that's off here is, well, yeah, we have hype sessions. We have weigh-ins in these fights. And it's like, well, no, that's not what this is. You can't transpose that.
Because all that stuff is mandated by the different state athletic commissions, where WWE, I don't think, falls under any state athletic commission, except save a couple of few that, they have to fall under rules like Missouri. You can't have excessive blood. And I think Maine's another one that doesn't allow for blood. So you have to fall under those guidelines, but they're not constricted as much as UFC or boxing is under that state athletic commission.
So, do you have anything else to say on this? Because we're going to end up touching on it again. And you know that. But if you don't have anything else, let's move on. Let's talk about all the other stuff. We're going to blow through some stuff, too, because Rhea Ripley and Michin
had a thing. Pat McAfee a nicer Dodge Ram than a base model? I mean, he should have had something nice.
It's a rental. It's a rental.
Well, at least it wasn't
maybe
like
they should have just got him a Chevy or a Ford. I don't know. Yeah. Like a real truck. Woo!
Stone Cold's old monster truck.
That works too.
Put a wrap on it. There you go.
So we get Rhea Ripley. We get Michin. Michin is obviously aligned with Jade Cargill and B-Fab. It was a thing. It went about as well as we thought. We get the beatdown after, and Io Sky comes out to help her friend. And I don't know why this is like puppies running up on people when Io comes out, because I'm just like, she's so happy to be around Rhea, and it just kind of added to it.
I'm here to save you.
You know what I mean? Like, and it was good. It was good. It's just, I get it. The Rhea Jade thing is just, and we talked about it. Like, the top of the cards have issues, and for different reasons, and we're going to pick and pluck as we go. Like, this one, they're trying to make it significant, but there's just some stuff that's not resonating, and it's fine. I mean, you can only do so much, right? Like,
yeah.
And I don't think Rhea's the problem. The talent's there. You see the talent when she cuts promos, when she does stuff. But I also think that she's
in a pretty tough spot with Jade.
I don't think her heart's in it either, which was a rumor that when they started this whole thing, like, she wasn't thrilled about it. So,
Rhea wasn't, or Jade wasn't.
That's the rumor, that Rhea wasn't, but it is what it is.
Well,
all right. So we get Alistair Black and Matt Cardona talking shit to each other. So they end up with a match later on. Solo and the MFTs. Tama seems to be the only guy in the MFTs with common sense. He's like, why the F do we keep on worrying about this stupid effing lantern and not belts? Like, no, it just brings us problems.
Yeah, nothing's good happened since they took the lantern.
So he says, hey, I'm going to take one for the team. So, he ends up having a match with Uncle Howdy. He loses and, basically just goes, F it, take this damn thing to the lantern, which it seems anticlimactic, but this feud has gone for so long over this.
Now,
it's
now,
just
now
like,
it's going to tip a power. Now you're going to see a power struggle between Tama and Solo. And what this shows is that you can stand up to Solo if you do it in the right way. Because, later on backstage, he kind of calmed down Solo about it. Because Solo's still heated about the land, and Tom is like the voice of reason in that group. Solo's just like the guy who wants to be the boss.
Solo is actively demonstrating that he's not Roman, right? Which is, he doesn't double down on stupid.
Yep.
So Roman always was kind of like, this is the plan. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to do what I want to do. And, whereas, Solo is like, Tama Tonga reads him the riot act, and he's like, you know what? You're right. And it was fine. It was fine. The match played out fine. Everything made sense, but.
Yeah, and Solo kind of cost him the loss too, by distracting him when you didn't want him out there. So,
but you know what? Good. The lantern's gone. Now they can focus on stuff, which is great. So we get some backstage with our favorite Miz and Kit Wilson. Look, I like the combo. I'm not even going to lie about it. I like the combo, but they run into our member of our Mount Rushmore, R-Truth, who is selling applications to the Judgment Day, and just, I'm not gonna belabor R-Truth at this point, because he has a chef's kiss one a little later on that we'll talk about.
Yeah, it was.
But like, Fatu, they do kind of a pre-filmed like promo for him, and he kind of, yep, I effed up. You got it right. Like, okay, well, good news. We got Trick Williams, and Matt, I'm digging this guy so much. He just makes me so happy. Ginger ale, gingerbread, like, I was dying, dude, and he just kept going.
I know I saw people on social media, like this one person, like, he went a little heavy on the ginger comment. So I clicked on the dude's profile pitch. He was a ginger. He was a little butthurt. It was hilarious.
I loved it. It was hilarious. And like, look, the beard is kind of ginger. I'm not gonna lie. The hair isn't, but the beard is. Anyways,
give it 10 years, it'll be white.
bite your tongue, old man.
But yeah,
I like that. Let's talk real quick about celebrities. We touched on this last week, but let's talk about celebrities.
Well, we've gotten a couple more since last week.
We definitely have. But let's talk about this real quick. I get it. Everybody's like, oh, this wrestler I really like isn't getting a match at Mania. It sucks. But you know what? Celebrities have been around for like forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like to the earliest days to gain legitimacy. Like for F's sakes, there is a Rivals episode about Mr. T and Roddy Piper.
Yeah. WrestleMania 2, you had 5 or 6 NFL players in the Battle Royal.
Lawrence Taylor, Liberace, Muhammad Ali.
Lawrence Taylor was in the main event. He wrestled Bigelow in the main event. That was a weak WrestleMania anyway, but I'm saying you had a celebrity in a main event match wrestling.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah. Refereed in 14, he refereed Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels.
Yep. That's my point, right? Like, they've been around forever. It's just what Mania brings.
The Bad Bunnies, you know. We've had so.
Oh, that wasn't Mania.
No, that's true. But still man, it was always celebrity laden. And during the Attitude Era, the early 2000s, we had music performances and celebrities out the wazoo. So now that they're kind of bringing it back a little heavy this year, I wonder why. Oh, maybe ESPN deal, Netflix deal.
Yeah, it's fine. And some of them, you just got to break it down so it makes sense. So I'm going to break down a couple. Why is Jelly Roll involved in Randy Orton's storyline? Because they were tag partners at SummerSlam. They are friends. And Jelly Roll was serving the role as the good angel, like the good talker, the good influence on his shoulder. While you got McAfee over here talking shit. So that's why he's there. McAfee, in my opinion, and we'll get into it more. I think McAfee is meant to represent like the IWC. You know what I mean? All the bitching, moaning, complaining, everything that's been going on. And like what makes me laugh is like everything in the substance of McAfee's promo, to go back to that for a minute, is stuff people have been saying nonstop. And he comes out and says it, and they're like, well, yeah, but not you. Like, whatever. All right, so anyways, back to this. So Trick's out.
Maybe you just had Jelly Roll. He doesn't have to wrestle WrestleMania, but maybe he's in Cody's corner or he comes out during that match. I'm sure we're going to see him WrestleMania weekend, even if he's not
just
wrestling.
Let him cut promos. I love that, listening to that dude. He's so, like, inspirational a little bit. But I say that to say this. So we get Lil Yachty, and, like, people are like, why is he here? Because him and Trick go way back. Like, this isn't just some, you know, random thing. This is like,
and I thought he was fine. He didn't try to steal the spotlight from Trick. He added to it, but he never
he was the hype man. He was the hype man. He was just egging Trick on.
Right.
Like, that's the best part about it. He was just egging Trick on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was great. And I would expect you to do that for me and egg me on if I was in that situation. I would do the same for you. Right. You're going to have a friend there that's got your back. Sammy comes out, and then Carmelo Hayes comes out. And we're all like, okay. People want this.
How about Sammy asking backstage, oh, I got my pyro? When I go out, I get my pyro.
I get my pyro that Trick Williams turned steel.
He stole it. If we could snip into like a video clip, I would just be like the scene from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles where Steve Martin loses his mind. He's like, you stole it. Because that's basically what happened with Sammy's pyro. I had to get a movie reference at some point.
I know. We've been whittling through it. Hey, we already got a South Park reference. So, but like, so Carmelo Hayes basically comes out and goes, I want a rematch. Because shit didn't go down right. So all of us are thinking like, oh, maybe Carmelo goes over. And I'm going to say one thing about Mania. So we have all watched wrestling long enough. And we all think that like, the fact that like Trick is this cocky heel-ish, he kind of came across as a face. Like, people just love him so much, he kind of came across as a face. But, like, he's still a dick. But,
plays to the fans. Like, he slaps hands and waves to the fans, gets them going, and, kind of gives the,
him dancing on the announce table?
Yeah.
They had me dying. Yeah. But I think...
weren't they chanting, whoop that trick, and he was dancing on the table to whoop that trick.
Yeah, I think...
He's a trash talker.
I honestly want to say this. So, if you go with wrestling tropes, he should lose at Mania. Because he's the cocky, inexperienced guy. In reality, he should win.
Yeah.
And I think that it's not necessarily a swerve, but I think he's so big right now. And Sammy is in the shitter. Because people are booing. As soon as his music hit, it was a mix of, hey, Sammy, and boos. Audible boos.
Well, the longer the match went on, the louder the boos got. By towards the end of that match, they were 100% wanting Melo to take the title.
And that's the good news. And this feeds my we're in a transition between eras argument, because we are now seeing where the fans are turning on the older school guys, right? Like, and they're favoring the younger up and comers. Like, people wanted Carmelo to win. I'm not 100% convinced that doesn't become a triple threat unless they just have a whole different angle. I do not necessarily want it to be a triple threat, because I want, it's like when you pop the cork on a wine and you let it breathe, man. I want Trick and Melo to breathe. I want to just pop the cork a little bit and just let it sit there and, take in the aroma, because, like, that's something that I think, like, can be special. It's what Randy and Cody should have been had they not shoehorned this bullshit. And, which is fine. Randy's, like, carrying the water, but, like, in this case, so we get this match, great match. Melo, man, if it was an angle, he sold the shit out of that leg. Like, I was like, ooh, did he really pull a hamstring? Is he just gutting through? Like, he was selling it good.
Yeah, he
was. I was like, and I think as somebody that's, tweaked a leg once or a billion times in his life, I was kind of like, I think I know what he's feeling right now. So I was like, maybe he did tweak it. And towards the end, I was kind of like,
yeah, he started doing rope runs. And once he started doing rope runs and Irish whips and stuff, I'm like, yeah, he's all right. But he played it well. Yeah, match was a lot of fun.
It was. And like, this just Trick, like, the whole lead up to it with Trick just egging shit on. Like, he was just, he wasn't saying much of nothing, but man, he was just poking the bear like nonstop. And I was like, I love this.
Yeah.
Just,
I know. And we haven't even gotten to the match yet, but I'm just saying, the longer this went on, and by the match time, nobody wanted Sammy leaving with that title.
I mean, to be fair, this is the Sammy heel turn, right? Like, we know this, right? Like, this is Sammy turning heel. And, like, I can't talk out of both sides of my face, right? Like, I can't say I need a change from Sammy, and then when he does a change, I got to shit all over it. Like, I can't. Like, this has been a slow burn, slow turn, and this is what was frustrating about both SmackDown and Raw this week. There's a lot of good storytelling, and I'm going to tell everybody what I said in the group chat. It is 2 weeks to WrestleMania. Right now, it's only about storylines and bubble wrap, right? Yes, you're going to get a couple of matches, but you ain't going to get nothing great, because they are going to protect. If they are on the marquee right now, all those wrestlers are going to be protected. You're going to get promos. You'll get some beatdowns because they're controlled environments, but you ain't getting nothing fantastic.
For the most part. We had an oopsie on Monday night.
Yeah, about that.
Oh, and then we have Nikki Bella, who, like, sprains her ankle on a simple inside cradle.
Isn't getting old a bitch?
I'm sorry, there's just nothing. There's nothing she could do to redeem herself in my eyes. Like she's past the point of no return.
So after that,
really
we get what we were talking about earlier, which is Solo and Tama kind of hashing it out, which again shows that by showing that Solo isn't Roman, like he's running his own group, but he ain't the Bloodline 2.0. He's just doing his thing. Really kind of keeps him out of that conversation. So then we get the match between Matt Cardona and Alistair Black, and it was kind of fun, and it was well done because Black just did everything on the face of the earth to keep on going after the arm. And you know, I hope they do something. I don't want Cardona to be constantly cannon fodder, but
no, if he, well, I mean, if he's like this competitive hurt, then you know that he's got to be, once he's healed, he's going to be better. And I kind of hope this feud with him and Black go on. It's kind of interesting. And I did put it in my notes, but I would like to see, because Black, for this feud, if Black is always with Selena Vega, at some point, this is a perfect opportunity to bring out Chelsea Green with Matt, like if they need a backup. And then they could do a mixed tag match down the line. Once her ankle's healed, do a mixed tag match. And you can keep Alba Fire hanging around too. Like she's part of the deal. She could stay. Why not?
Yep. Nope. I agree. Like, listen, she's already got mixed tag experience. She won the mixed tag championship in AAA. So like she's got it. But after that, Bailey, Lyra, typical blah blah blah. Them and Alexa. I'm not even gonna like harsh on it. It's just like
they're gonna pay. Pay what?
Yeah. R-Truth with Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano.
Laughing.
You know, R-Truth with Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano. Basically like a, quick little promo for Stand and Deliver, which is funny because like after that I was like, Matt, should we watch Stand and Deliver? Like, folks, it's hard at times. Like, Stand and Deliver is kind of NXT's like WrestleMania. So I was like, I really kind of want to take that in. And I was like, no. Then Matt kind of talked me off the ledge. He was like, we can't do it, brother. We can't, I want to, but we probably shouldn't. And I was like, well, okay. Well, because we don't want to skew
right
what we are.
Well, I think the reason why we're thinking about watching it because we wanted to see Gargano. Plus, we've already seen Sol Ruca and some of these other the new female champion. We've
gotten taste.
Yeah. But yeah, as
first
far as
taste
like
is free.
Yeah,
taste is free.
That's true. What?
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 Don't do drugs.
What?
So then we get probably one of the greatest R-Truth moments of the night. Priest basically goes like, dude, why the Miz and Kit to R-Truth? He's like, there's so many more teams that probably deserve a shot. And he goes, they're cursed. You're like, okay, yeah, they're both cursed. That kind of makes sense. He goes, Asuka running around here cursing people. He's like, Priest is like, Asuka's on Raw. He goes, no, man, I saw her. He's like, no, it's not Asuka. He's like, well, then who's the lady running around with the face paint cursing people? I was dying, dude. I was so dying.
So funny.
Anything that Danhausen touches right now just makes me laugh. Like,
well, and then Priest is such a good straight guy for R-Truth to like do his stuff off of. Because it's fun to watch Priest try not to break character when R-Truth says stuff. But Priest is
but when he does break, it's so brilliant. And with Priest, like Priest has had a couple of times where he's like broken, and it's just hilarious. But if y'all haven't seen it, go out and watch the 5-minute video of Danhausen running around WWE headquarters. That crap is hilarious. That guy
and that kid who wanted him to curse The Rock. I want to adopt that kid. That kid's going places.
The fact that he wanted him to curse The Rock, he's like, I'll see if he's in there.
I'm like, greatest video ever.
Yeah. So, after that,
I love that Danhausen steals his Slammy when he goes to the headquarters and then
go watch it, folks. Just go watch it.
That's the slammy he had on Raw last night. Was the same slammy.
It's just probably brilliance.
Was it Vince's slammy for when he sang "Stand Back" back in the 80s?
I don't know. He just snagged it. He was just like, boink.
That's a classic, man.
I think he stole somebody's cell phone too in that video.
Probably.
Like when he was sitting at the desk and the guy's on the computer. I think he stole the dude's phone.
He lifted his phone.
It's just so good.
It's in his pocket with his Coke Zero and his Apple. So when he can get APA to
and
go
his jar of teeth.
Jar of teeth, yes. Not just any teeth, human teeth.
I saw it today, and it was probably the most apropos thing about Danhausen was somebody basically said, like, I have never seen somebody get revealed so poorly and take off like a rocket ship in the matter of 2 months. That dude is just... Is he the top-selling merch guy right now? He's got to be close.
Yeah, he's
got to be top 5. He's got to be top 5.
Is that because people want it, or are they afraid they're going to get cursed if they don't buy it?
Both.
Yeah, okay.
Both. I'll tell you right now, like, if I end up going to, I think it's a Raw. If I end up going to Raw in Baltimore, like, I'm getting a Danhausen shirt. Unless KO's back. Then I got to refresh. But, you know, I'm a huge KO guy. Like, he's always going to be my boy. So.
We've been seeing a little bit of snippets. They showed a highlight of the KO Stone Cold feud from a couple years back. We saw KO on ESPN talking trash to Logan Paul.
Was that just to get Stone Cold love and WrestleMania love, though? I don't know.
I'm trying to be in the real world. I'm kind of a realist / pessimist, but when it comes to wrestling, I'm trying to be a hopeful optimist. So that part of me is like, is that signs that KO's coming back? Is this signs? Is wrestling going to get better?
Easter eggs. Well, wrestling's always better with KO.
Is TKO going to give Triple H's balls back and just let him run WWE like the way he was running it about 3 years ago?
Before the sell?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, there's a whole thing online. I guess, like, some of the text messages between Nick Khan, Vince, and Triple H got released as part of the...
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm not getting into it. I'm just throwing it out there that, like, and we'll just say that, like, right now Triple H isn't, like, Vince's fan. Like,
no.
But anyways,
Triple H might be wearing that pacemaker because of Vince. I think Vince took years off of Triple H's life.
Anyways, so we get a match between Alexa Charlotte and Bayley Lyra, and I got a news flash for you folks. You guys are going to just keep on seeing this crap. Not just these two teams. All the teams involved in the Fatal 4-Way for the women's tags. It's just going to keep happening.
I don't know. Nikki Bella could, like, fall out of bed tomorrow and, like, separate her shoulder and be out. So at least we'll see 3 of the teams going up through WrestleMania. So I know that Alexa and Charlotte went over, and I know we're going to do predictions, but it just seems like this storyline is really angling about retribution for Bayley, you know, because she missed WrestleMania. And it's not enough that just going to be there. I don't know. I don't know if the story is going to be that big. If I wrote the story, I think I would go in that direction of letting Bayley and Lyra have the titles, because you can put the belts on Alexa and Charlotte anytime.
Yeah, that's true. And they just add legitimacy to that win. But
yeah,
I don't know. Like
you talk a lot about but you also say too that people that stick around and embrace the suck and kind of eat the shit sandwich for a while, they get kind of rewarded down the line.
Bayley. They owe Bayley big.
I think this is going to be the completion of the apology for Bayley missing last year. So this is going to write so. I think so. That's how I do it.
All right. So
anyway, it was a fun match.
Speaking of Kit and the Miz.
By the way, I mentioned my notes a lot. Joe Tessitore is the absolute shits. I'm sorry, Nick, that you like Joe Tessitore. Tessitore must be from Jersey. Maybe that's why Nick likes him. But he is absolutely horrible. Like Tessitore. Okay. Who was the British guy they had? The one that's like calling rugby or something now?
Always out of breath guy?
Yeah, Kevin Phillips or whatever his name was. He was...
I don't know. That guy.
I don't know. But Tessitore calls like he's talking to a room full of third graders. He's just terrible. Like I don't know how many times I sit there and I'm like, shut the F up, Joe. Shut up, Joe. Wade, go sit in the corner. Shut up, Wade.
He's so unauthentic. It's just so bad.
Yes, that's excellent. There's nothing. Because I don't think he knows enough about wrestling. Like, he has no personality to be himself and be enthralling, so he tries to come across as like over dramatic.
He throws out all the cliche lines, but it doesn't land. Like, But here's the funny part. So, as we mentioned, like, the schedule for Saturday and Sunday is out. It got revealed on ESPN. I think it was First Take or whatever, right? So you have Mike Greenberg and you have Joe Tessitore. And Joe Tessitore is taking you through the nights. And by the end of it, I was like, you are hyping the biggest effing show of the year, and I'm bored out of my effing mind. That dude, I said he is to excitement. What did I use? Damn. Oh, yeah. He is to excitement what Whiskey Dick is to sex. It's just not going to get you there. So, like... Yeah, like I just was like, oh my God, this is terrible. And the worst part about it,
fumble around for an hour, but it's just nobody has a good time.
Yeah, nobody's having fun. Nobody's into it.
It's awkward.
No, but
we don't talk about
Mike
it the next
Greenberg.
Morning.
Here's the beauty part. Mike Greenberg, they get on the subject of Pat McAfee, and Mike Greenberg starts dropping names. Ari Emanuel, Nick Khan, The Rock, in reference to McAfee. And I was like, and he kind of makes a reference of, I'm just reading the cards. And I was like, there's a reason why The Rock was mentioned. And like, we're going to get into it more later. But like, just as a reminder, when Paul Heyman and Adam Pearce were talking last week, he did drop a line of, do you smell that? And I was like, I think we all smell what the Croc is cooking in the, Nation of Domination version of DX. So, but anyways, let's just keep plugging along here. So Kit and the Miz.
Yeah, we're only 49 minutes in.
Are talking about the curse. Well, we're about to talk Danhausen. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
So they're talking about the curse. And like Danhausen pops up and he's like, hey, check it out. If you take me ringside, let me go in with y'all. I can lift the curse and you guys can win the tag team titles. And of course, Kit Wilson calls him toxic. Danhausen, he's like, all right, I'm not going to do it. So this leads to their tag team bout with R-Truth and Priest and Kit and The Miz. And everything, it is what it is. Danhausen comes out, climbs up on the ropes, and he's got his arm out. And like Miz is just staring at him. He's like, oh, I have to grab the tag rope. He's like this. And Miz is like, you're not supposed to be here. So he starts arguing. And R-Truth hot tags Danhausen. And I was
R-Truth was standing up watching this go on. And then he goes into like the baby face, like hot tag dive into Danhausen.
Oh my God, it was so good.
So good. That was hilarious. And it was good that we finally got to see those two kind of together. So, but what I say is
I just want it in snippets.
Yes, don't beat that horse to death. Because then it'll get old and unfunny. Don't make it a thing. Make it a... Because like right now, Danhausen, like Becky Lynch came to Danhausen wanting him to curse AJ Lee. There's a video on social media.
So it gets better though. Matt, it gets better. So, this is berating him.
Yes.
This is berating him. So he basically gets the crowd to help him. He's like, you are. And then Miz grabs the ref. Now, keep in mind, Miz has been saying, I don't believe in this curse thing. Cursed. And he hits the ref, and Danhausen's like, oh, shit. Not you. Yeah. Not you. And
Miz goes to grab him, give him the skull-crushing finale, and then Danhausen takes off. So that's how Danhausen leaves, even though they turn the lights on way too early again, which is great.
It gets better because the ref, after that, goes to count the 3 for the Miz, and he gets a cramp in his arm, and he can't count it out. And I'm just like, this is so... stupid is hilarious.
Hey, kudos to the ref. He sold it the rest of the time. Like,
oh my God, he was selling it, and then like, I think it was somebody was like, "Go lefty," and he was like, he finally counted.
Because Priest hits out to heaven or whatever on Miz, and then the ref just goes down. Yeah, and I think someone yells like count lefty, and he just he slams the mat. Like I think it was a fast count too, but it doesn't matter. Total comedy match. Total, yeah. And that was one of the instances where I remember like wrestling is fun. It is entertainment. It is fun. That was like if I gave a letter grade for the match, it's a C. There's nothing great about the match itself, but with all the extra fun and extracurricular stuff, that knocks up to a B+. It was quality entertainment.
It was great entertainment. Unlike the last match of the night, which was Carmelo Hayes and Sami Zayn for the U.S. title. And Trick Williams steals his pyro and all this, that, and the other. And we kind of talked about it already.
That's right. I got confused. I thought we were going to go right into the match, and I'm like...
We were so excited because Trick was involved. Like, we kind of already talked about the match. I mean, whatevs, man. Like, just Sammy's booed. He's a heel. Well, I don't even know if he's a heel. He's just not liked.
Yeah.
Like, is there a difference between not liked and heel?
What do they always say? Like, the easiest feelings in life are love and hate, but indifference is like, it's harder to, it takes more energy to be totally indifferent to somebody. So I think the fans are starting to get like, we're tired of you. Like, we don't want to see you. So they're not at the hate thing, but they're at the point now it's just like, we've had it. Like, not you, anybody but you.
I almost went Chappelle reference. Anyways, like, there's a good Chappelle reference,
there was
but I'm not going to do it.
Big Sammy sucks chant going on during the match when they weren't chanting whoop that trick.
But
a lot of mellow chants and stuff. So this is a fun crowd, by the way. St. Louis, smart crowd. Like, they're just not.
They were a smart crowd.
They're not barking seals. And for those listening, if you're from a city that has nothing but barking seals at wrestling matches, be the change. Be the change agent. Bring smartness back into the arena. No, this was a great crowd. Like, they got everything. They just didn't cheer somebody. Like, of course they're going to cheer Randy because he's a hometown boy, but I think even if that happened, say, in Charlotte, North Carolina, I think you would have got the same reaction. Fans just love Randy Orton could RKO an infant, and I still think the fans would pop for it.
All right, so last thoughts on Randy before we get off of SmackDown. I was kind of texting this today.
That was Randy Orton. The way Sammy won, though, really dick move. So definitely points to the heel.
I know that's the whole point, though, right? Like, but real quick on Randy Orton, there was talk about like, did you really need to make Randy a heel? Yada yada yada. Look, Randy Orton is by far all the way the best tweener that you are ever gonna see, because you can love to cheer him. And he can RKO somebody, and you'll just be like, Randy, he's the Viper. That's what he does. Like he can flip.
He's Stone Cold. He gave everybody a stutter, and everybody loved it.
Right.
Didn't care who's Stone Cold.
I don't want to say he's like Stone Cold, though. Stone Cold was like the anti-hero, right? He was just brash.
I'm talking about like what he can get away with in the eyes of the fans.
Oh, yeah. But my point...
Randy's got a blank check almost, really, to get away with stuff.
Well, because you don't need him to be a heel. And I think, like, in this storyline, like, the fact that Cody let him off the leash, it's just like, all right, cool, I can do what I got to do. And it's great. It is great that you can do that with him. You know, so, like, don't assume that Randy is the heel here, because the crowd definitely doesn't see him that way. But he's going to do some gross shit, and it's okay. So, you know, we'll get through it, but yeah. But, all right, any closing thoughts on SmackDown before we get into Raw?
No, well, we kind of beat the crap out of that show. I think we covered it in depth.
I don't think I think we explored in a deeper meaning of everything that has occurred on SmackDown.
Story. One real quick final thought I had on Randy that popped up. Couldn't they have just made it just as relevant without Pat McAfee? If you just would have had Randy... Go on a rant after he beat Cody up and said he's like.
Let's get into the opening promo, Raw, before I answer that.
Okay.
I want to get into this.
I think you know
there's
where I'm
a
going,
reason
right?
why I want to get.
Why?
I do, but
why couldn't you just be straight up pissed at Cody for how he got the title and what he's done?
I'm gonna go tinfoil hat on this. So we're gonna talk about this.
Cool. Same. More of the same.
Raw kicks off. Punk comes out. And they're in Houston. Punk sits in the ring, pipe bomb style, and we start getting a Punk promo. Starts off very same shit I've heard for the last 6 weeks or however many weeks. And then he starts hitting on this stuff and he kind of riffs and he kind of goes he starts talking about the ticket prices and everything else. And, all the shit that was said on SmackDown by Pat McAfee, starts throwing shade at Pat McAfee, calls out The Rock, calls out everybody. And it's interesting. There's a few things here that I want to kick out. So a lot of what Punk was saying was legit. I think everything that he said in regards to Roman was just regurgitated shit, right? So you had two parts to this promo. You had part one, which was his interactions for his match with Roman, and that was total crap. It sucked. Not even going to bullshit you. It sucked. On the other side, though, he got a couple of good digs in. I will say that, but nothing.
Yeah.
It was just kind of meh.
It was a tale of two promos for me, too. The first, if you even look at my notes, he talks about Roman and then he does this trash talk. I'm like, it's so weak. But then he starts calling out TKO for putting Roman on Fallon because he's safe and he's boring and you don't want me on Jimmy Fallon type of stuff. Then he, all the stuff
But the problem is, I never got this text out when we were when it was on live. I had a problem with him saying I'm going to say what I want to say. And it's if you're that edgy, you don't need to point that out. There's just some times where I don't need it written in crayon, right? God, and it was so Crayola.
The boss that has to remind you that he's the boss every day. Remember, I'm the boss here. I'm in charge.
I'm edgy. Yeah. I'm edgy, man. You got to watch out for me. I'm crazy. Dude, we get it. We know who the F you are. You've been around for a hot minute. This isn't a surprise to us. When Kairi Sane comes out and starts cutting a promo like that, I'll be shocked. Okay? Yeah. So, just say it.
So, overall, and I think it ended up being one of Punk's best promos in a while. There was some elements in there that I was getting some okay, that was Punk 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
The problem is that when he was shooting on Roman, it was shit. And when he was shooting on the company, or, on that part of it, and on McAfee and everything else, that was good.
That was good.
And my tinfoil hat tells me that there's already a rumor coming down that, this summer they're going to drop ticket prices, blah, blah, blah. I think all this, there's two things that I find interesting in all this. One is, I think this is top cover for TKO to start dropping prices. So they're kind of all right, we heard everybody, come back. Because, hey, newsflash, where's Mania next year?
Saudi.
You already have pissed off your fan base.
Yeah.
And then you took WrestleMania away. So,
woo! So what you need to do is WrestleMania 2028. You owe the fans a big one. You got to put it in a good city. Not saying that Las Vegas is not, but I think you got to either put it in Florida, put it in a vacation destination.
Put it in Indy. Put it in Indy. I would put it in Indy, and I'll tell you why. It's not, but it is kind of centrally located. It's a nice town, nice arena.
Weather's good, even though it's
It'll be easier on the travel, and it's not as expensive as Vegas or Los Angeles.
Yep. You got the Midwest.
Or New York City. Or, insert city here. You need to come hard because we need to keep that in mind.
You can put it in Houston. You can put it back.
That's fine.
Actually, you know what
Texas?
you got to do? No, you own
Jerry
New Orleans.
World?
No, you own New Orleans big time.
Touche. New Orleans would rock too. That's my point, right?
Swept it right out from under their feet, gave it back to Vegas, and then said, yeah, and you still got to wait. Oh, but you get, I think, they have Money in the Bank ladder match or something.
Who fucking cares?
They gave them like a pity prize, like. So yeah, they're gonna have to drop the prices. And here's the thing: WrestleMania used to have like musical guests in the middle of the show. They seem to have a lot more. And that was one night, and they would stuff in 10 or 11 matches, 2 or 3 musical performances, and in 4 hours you're wrapped up. Now you got 2 nights at 4 hours per night. Come on, you can stop having 15-minute entrances, stop having stupid between match filler, but get some bands out there to play some music.
I need entrances.
Yeah, God. I mean, I get it. Entrances are a big part of it, but good Lord.
At Mania, I like the entrances, to be honest. Unless it's Travis Scott coming down the ramp.
They don't have to be longer than the match. They don't have to be longer than the match for crying out loud.
No, it's fair. It's fair. So I guess my whole point in all this is that I think this is top cover for them. But I also think
what it does is like, build up a feud between the WWE and TKO.
And let me ask you this, because this has been a fleeting thought. Is WWE, like the organic WWE, are they intentionally throwing shade at TKO to just like, F you, we're gonna, we're done with you. We don't care that you own us or something. I don't know. Like, if it's a work,
could it be that?
Fine.
Or were they sitting around a board meeting and the TKO guys are like, man, we're starting to get some bad press. How do we fix this? And the WWE could be like, the WWE guys are like, well, you outpriced people going to our events. Now you kind of screw in the legacy of the WWE, which, I mean, I get it. WrestleMania should be expensive. But a Raw or a SmackDown or a live event or another PLE shouldn't have to bankrupt the family. I can see WrestleMania being like the biggest one where, hey, you want to go, that's Disney money. Fine. Okay.
But no, it doesn't have to be, because like, if I would have straight up
prices. All right, say if you bought, I don't even know how, like, if you got the cheapest tickets for WrestleMania, they're what, $800 a ticket for the 2 nights?
I guess. Yeah.
So say you buy those, right? 2 people, that's $1,600 for 2 tickets for 2 nights. And then, lodging, and then merchandise and food and all that. I mean, you're talking probably a $4,000 to $5,000 weekend. So I'm not saying you have the ticket prices that high. It's still your highest priced event, but you can bring the prices down. But people will still be willing to spend the big money, but they'll spend it on merch. They'll spend more money on, well, I can't say that wrestlers are having problems meeting their frickin' demand for their meet and greets because everybody's selling out.
$10,000 for a bus ride.
Yeah. Did you hear about what's the one that's going to be in Italy? Is it the Clash of the? What they're doing a pay-per-view in Italy?
Clash in Italy? I don't know.
I think that's what it is. But like a ringside seat's $3,000. But if you want the VIP pasta edition, where you go backstage for a meet and greet, and they haven't mentioned who it is, a certain WWE wrestler will join you in a pasta making class, and you make your pasta. That awesome. drives the price for that experience to $11,000 for not even a major PLE.
Must be nice to have that kind of FU money. Like, yeah. I sure as hell don't.
And thanks to James Romero and Dutch Mantel, because that's who I saw him talking about. I was like flabbergasted. That better be some damn good pasta. But what are they going to have you do? Like make pasta with like Akira Tozawa? Like, come on. Like, who? You're not going to have Roman Reigns back there, like, just a pinch of garlic,
Yo, for $11,000, I better get Roman Reigns. Or at least Danhausen. But, like, we'll make Pastahausen.
You're going to get, like, Tozawa or somebody that's just like...
You can't do that. Like, I'm telling you right now, they're walking a dangerous line. Because I don't think people have put 2 and 2 together that Mania is not in the States next year. Because we're so focused on this current Mania.
They've kind of, it's gone to the back of their mind. And
well, we're in the now, right?
Yeah.
And, like, even I kind of brain dumped it until we started talking about it. And then I was like, this better be the world's biggest ass kissing. Like, if you don't want to kill your fan base, like, you better do some major league ass kissing. But you know what, Matt? Let's move on. There's still a lot to talk about, man. So I'll tell you what, this next storyline, I'm down. I'm loving it. So those of you that don't know, a couple of weeks ago, Danhausen cursed IShowSpeed. IShowSpeed ends up, Adam Pearce gives him ringside seats for the Usos match, which is kind of funny because once you have a seat, you don't switch seats. But anywho, and then he gets dragged into that whole thing, ends up accidentally knocking out LA Knight. Fast forward, LA Knight shows up on IShowSpeed's podcast and basically throws him through his computer rig. And credit to IShowSpeed selling it, because his arm was in a sling, bandage on his head at some social event that he was at last night. Fast forward to the last night. He's there. He's like, he's talking to Danhausen. And Danhausen's like, all right, give me your mansion. And he's like, I can't do that. And then Pearce interrupts. He's like, I'm trying to get this curse lifted. They look over. Danhausen's already chucked the deuces and disappeared. So now he's stuck. And then credit to Austin Theory and Logan Paul. They come out and they basically go, you're already screwed. You might as well hang with us. We'll try to protect you.
Yeah.
And it was legit because they're like, dude, you can't go out to the parking lot. He already found you at your house. And I was like, ooh, that's good. That's very true. He doesn't have a choice. Now, he's obviously the reluctant participant in all this, and shenanigans go in, because they end up having a match between the Vision and, the bottom line is, or not the Vision, but LA Knight and Austin Theory. Austin Theory ends up winning because of shenanigans, and, Speed accidentally gets involved, and now they're chasing around Speed, Logan Paul makes the save on Speed, and it's just, I'm loving this storyline because the reluctant IShowSpeed, and obviously he has a brand to protect, so he can't, he's with the heels, he has to protect his brand. It's just beautiful because he's got to work so hard not to become the bad guy, but he's kind of screwed, so he's got to be the bad guy. God, I love this story.
The Theory and Logan Paul, they're kind of fun heels too. I mean, they're scummy, but yet they're fun. The scumbags, but they'd kind of be fun to hang around with for a little while. So I think it should be fun. We'll see what happens at WrestleMania, but kind of like how they're building this. The only thing is I kind of feel bad for LA Knight because this was the only way they could get him on the card, which means, does that mean they don't have any, someone's trying to hack into my Apple device, my Apple. Sorry about that. I had a pop-up. Someone's trying to log in from Pakistan.
All that porn. Yeah, it's probably the wife. Wifehausen.
Yep. In Pakistan. She's got her own Apple account. She's booted her. I wanted more for Knight for this WrestleMania because I really thought that they were going to do a big build-up of him. And, it's not a bad spot to be in because it'll be a fun match, but at the end of it, no one's going to remember it 2 weeks after WrestleMania.
Knight's a weird one because, Knight is that guy that they heat up, they get him really hot, and then they just, instantly put, ice water on him. I've never seen anything like it. And what's worse, people are like, oh, Knight should leave. Bro, he's making them money. He's in all their commercials. He's sitting there with Penta, singing along, for a tax, freaking commercial. He's snapping Slim Jims with Bianca Belair. It's not like he's not out there getting some.
And he's not quite old enough yet to have to go to AEW. You want to talk about the WWE roster having some old folks on there. Go look at AEW.
I don't know. I don't watch. But apparently Jericho went back, so cool.
Yeah. Well, you got Edge and Christian, who are both in their 50s, and Bobby Lashley. Oh, yeah, he's still around. Yeah. So,
they're
a little old.
Shit.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Well,
the Finn Balor JD thing, I get it, but I don't like it. I wanted at least a little something, but I think we'll
it did what it needed to.
It did.
It did what it needed to.
That's the fan of me talking. The fan of me wanted to see Finn and JD go, at least for a couple minutes until it broke down. But...
So what you're saying is the heel, Dom, did heel things and took away what you wanted.
Yes. So perfect.
Okay.
But I'm saying as a fan, I wanted more. Yeah. Talking stories. Oh, yeah, it's good. You had to bring the demon out. There you go. That was your excuse.
Which we know for a fact is going to be the demon because it was on the graphic, and I was like,
why would they do that? Like, give us a surprise. Like, I mean, everybody knows it's coming, but like, let there be an element of
time out. No, time out. I'm going to walk you off the ledge.
We're going to disagree
because yeah, probably, but I'm going to throw the timeout flag on this one. This goes back to talking out of both sides of our mouth. We can't say I want WWE to treat me like an adult and not write things in crayon, and then when they put something in crayon that we all knew I called it weeks ago, like that the demon was going to come back. I also want Demonito, but but my point is,
it's that element of doubt. Like, we're 99% sure that he was going to do the demon, but that 1% is enough to like still be like, is he going to do it?
But man, you also want shorter intros. Like, I don't know. Like, if they do his intro, cool, as he comes in as the demon, cool. Like, I'm not even pissed about it anymore because you know what? There's so much fanfare, pomp, and circumstance, and we all went, dude, he's busting out the demon. The demon better win, but he's busting out the demon.
See, all right. So what you could have done is you don't announce it's a demon, and again, you have that small thing of doubt. Well, next week on the Go Home Raw, the demon comes out and attacks Dom, so you actually get to see the demon the week before.
Yeah, but later on in Raw, he cuts the promo where he all but says that he's going to be the demon.
Yeah, I know.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. I'm not gonna die on that hill is what I'm getting at, right? Like, it's fine. I don't care. Yeah. Like, I mean, I kind of knew it was coming. I'm more interested. I don't need the shock value of the demon. What I need is a really cool intro for the demon.
Yes.
I want it to be cool. And if I get a cool intro,
he had a separate intro as the demon, didn't he?
I don't know if his music changed. It's been so long since we've seen the demon.
The video board was different when he came out as a demon.
I know it's different, but I don't know. Let it go. I can't die on that hill, especially when they all but said he's coming as the demon. I don't need it's there, and I'm not going to die on that hill.
No, someone in our hundreds of listeners will tell us. Our low hundreds of listeners, yeah.
So then we get Cole doing an interview with AJ Lee, and Becky shows up. And look, man, one thing that WWE is doing with some of these lead ups and promos, they're really regurgitating the same shit over and over and over again. Was it kind of nice? Yeah. But there was no substance in this at all. And it was just meh. And there was a little dig there, but I don't know, man. It worked better for Becky than it did AJ Lee, to be honest with you. I mean, AJ got her shot in, but it was just kind of meh.
Yeah, with the backhanded compliment about how she's proud of Becky, but then again, she couldn't do any of it without AJ Lee. And I mean, AJ Lee was a big star, but I don't think she was tip of the arrow for the women's evolution. She was there, but I don't think she was the key piece. But anyway, yeah, it is what it is. Again, man, SmackDown and Raw were weird. There was stuff that worked and then stuff that didn't, and it was...
Well, like I said, it's storylines and bubble wrap. Just keep on reminding yourself of that. I know we don't want to hear it.
Maybe that's what you should name this episode, Storylines and Bubble Wrap, because that's the third time you mentioned it.
It's true, though. I'm not going to waste... I'll use that for next week because it's going to be storylines and bubble wrap next week, even worse.
Oh, yeah.
They're getting a truckload of bubble wrap wrapped in. So after that, we get Bayley and Lash. And Bayley and Lash have a match, which... Okay. Ends up in a big brawl. Charlotte and Alexa Bliss come out and yeah, whatever. Bayley gets the win. Comments?
Didn't really advance much. It was more of the same mold that we saw on SmackDown. That was the same that we saw last week on Raw, which was, they just keep like rotating people in and out of this until we get to WrestleMania. Nothing earth-shattering.
That's all it is.
Yep.
Just round and round, round and round. And I said it earlier. I'll say it again. You're going to see it for next week too. All right. So then we get this Seth Rollins promo, and I will give credit where credit is due. We finally kind of got the why Gunther went after Seth, and we got it backstage. So we got Seth going, I don't get it. And like, we get attacks him, that Cracker Jack security, that great security they have, like, saves the day. And, eventually Gunther's backstage. He runs into Paul Heyman, and basically, Paul Heyman's like, I got to give you my thanks. He's like, nah, you owe me a hell of a lot more than thanks. And everybody picked up on it. Like, bottom line is, later on in the year, he's going to call in that favor and get that retirement match for Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
which I think is
Paul is going to betray
travesty.
No. Because Brock wants to retire anyway. So he's going to retire at SummerSlam in Minnesota as a face, because Paul Heyman's going to turn his back on Brock Lesnar and go with Gunther either before or at the event.
The little birdies are saying Brock doesn't want to lose his...
Really?
Just saying. Yeah. So if you don't want... I'm going to say this. If you don't want him to lose, he goes up against Gunther, which refreshes Gunther like, all right, I'm 2-1 now in retirement matches.
3. 3-1. He retired Goldberg too.
Yeah. All right. So we get all that.
Real quick Gunther story. So, folks, everybody knows I'm a big Gunther guy, but I'll call him out, and I was not confident going into this Seth feud that his character could lead it. And Sean's always had a problem with Gunther, saying he doesn't like charisma. Well, my wife is a military brat. Her dad retired Army as well, and she spent 6 years in Germany. So we're talking about Gunther, and I just happened to mention, like, Sean just doesn't like. He likes Gunther in the ring, but he's like, he doesn't have any charisma. He has no personality. And my wife's like, well, duh, isn't he like from Germany? Or I'm like, well, he's from Austria, close enough. Well, she goes, yeah, he's European. He has no personality. He's like, they're just very blunt and rude. He said the only time like you see any bit of their personality is when you get them drunk. Or if you're Ludwig Kaiser and you're really good at playing a Mexican Lucha Libre star.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We'll edit it.
I don't know where Kaiser's been.
We'll take it out in post. Sorry. I'm not trying to give away trade secrets. Sorry.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Must maintain kayfabe. Yes, must maintain kayfabe.
El Grande Americano's out there, but
yes, he is.
I don't know what Kaiser's been up to.
But anyway, that was my wife's brief synopsis, and I'm like, you know what? She's right. Like, it's kind of... Especially after watching like Nuremberg and watching like the kind of, and I've been to Germany 3 times myself. They're not the most like warm, expressive folk.
It's just different. Let's chug it along here for not wanting a long episode. Like,
man,
we knew this was going to happen though. So yeah. Vakir video package in Spanish. I'll tell you what, we've said it before, I'll say it again. I do like when they let some of these international superstars give promos in their own language, give you the subtitles, let you read it, but you can feel the passion a little bit more because it's their natural language, and it just kind of just flows. So after that, we get Penta, Javon, and Dragon Lee against Tres Americanos.
I don't know if that's their name, but
of El Grande Americanos.
That's what I just call them because there's 3 of them.
F if I know. I'm going with it. Trace, I think there's something else. Los Americanos.
Well, whatever. If there's 3 of them, it's Trace. 6-man tag. See, yeah. And no.
But it was fun. There was a couple of times in that match, though, again with Javon. First off, I swear to God, when he did the jump out of the ring, he paused in the air and then went down. Like, I was like, how did he float for a minute? the kid's impressive, but man,
like when he goes midair like that, he kind of just hovers. I'm expecting to hear like Waylon Jennings, like, oh, those crazy Duke boys, what are they going to do next? And you go to commercial and you come back and Javon's still just hanging there, and then lands, But yeah, his airtime is sick.
The big thing to come out of this match, to be honest, is after the match, Rey Mysterio comes out. And you're like, huh. And Rey comes to the ring, giving some love. Obviously, he's got some love for Dragon Lee, probably some respect for Javon, and obviously him and Penta are boys. And Rey basically says, like, yo, you're going to add me to the ladder match. And that perked my ears up because rumor mill was it was supposed to be him and Gunther,
right?
But he was hurt. And it was like, nah, Gunther gets his match with Seth, and all of a sudden it's like, here's Rey. And like Rey's like, yo, 6-man tag, I'm in, or 6-man ladder match, I'm in. And I'm like, like, I don't know what to think, if it was just a bad rumor that it was supposed to be him and Gunther.
Maybe,
look,
or my
him and Gunther never made sense.
No,
him and Gunther never made sense. There's only one person on the roster that should retire Rey, and it is not Gunther.
No, it's Dom.
Period. It's Dom. So, the answer is Dom.
I'm just wondering that they switched to Rey. If maybe they were going Gunther Rey because Gunther beat up Dragon and Rey was, I don't know, whatever. I didn't like it either. But maybe Seth got healthier a little earlier than they thought, and with Rey being temporarily injured, and they saw that Seth was coming back, they saw an opportunity like, hey, let's switch it. Which actually makes sense because now having Seth Gunther is a lot, nothing against Rey, it's the match itself, is way more appealing than Gunther Rey. And then adding Rey to a ladder match for an IC title, making it a 6-pack. I mean, that's just more fun at the party there.
I think there's a little more to that too, which is you can protect Rey a little bit more in a 6-person tag, right? Or God, I keep on saying tag, ladder match.
Yeah.
You can get laid out. You can kind of hide outside the ring. Yep. He hasn't been in ring. He can, get some gas in the tank a little bit. He can come in, do a couple of spots. Like, honestly, he can be there for the end. But he can kind of be, so coming off an injury, believe it or not, you can probably protect him a little bit in this match.
Absolutely. Yeah. And nobody's
there's enough bodies flying around in this match that like he can kind of disappear into the, chaos.
I kind of feel bad because nobody talks about the square peg and the round hole in this match being Rusev.
Rusev?
Yeah.
I was like, what? And I think I started singing it last week. I was like, one of these things is not like the other. Yeah. One of these things do not belong. And it is Rusev. And I'm just sitting there like, huh. Like, we're giving Rusev a Mania match. And it's just like, huh.
You know what I want to see? I want to see the other 5 just flippity-flopping all around the ring. And then Rusev just standing there like just watching them. And then when someone gets close, he can like clothesline him or Machka kick him or something.
It's like 5 flying squirrels and a dog. Like, it's so weird. It's just the weirdest combo. Like, I don't get it.
Like, you could have brought like Mr. Iguana up, or you could have brought Dr. You could have, I don't know, but.
Oh my God, the IWC would lose their effing minds.
But, you know what? I don't hate.
You're taking it away from main roster and putting Mr. Iguana in.
I don't hate Rusev being in it. I'm glad they gave Rusev. So I'm not hating on it. It's just
I'm more curious to see.
Especially when they lay out like all the faces and it's like luchador, flippity floppity guy, Rusev. Like, I'm like, okay.
All right. So we get this tag match between Rio. So besties are back together again.
Which is nice.
Against B-Fab and Michan. And obviously Jade comes out. First off, I don't know what the hell they dressed her in, but whatever the F Jade was wearing, yo, you need to go back to the drawing board. I feel like I'm becoming a fashion critic, between the tablecloth outfits that Nia and wearing.
That red thing looked like it
Lash
off one of the giant Muppets when they used to have the monster Muppets on the Muppet Show. It looks like
they turned a Muppet into a mink. Like, I was like,
yeah, that's what it was.
And I was just like, what the hell are we doing? And then, the The match was fine. Honestly, the biggest thing I took away from this match, B-Fab looked really good in this match.
Yeah,
it is the best I've seen B-Fab look. And like, I can't get behind this story. Like, it's just meh.
The exchange that B-Fab had with Rhea was really good right at the beginning. Like, it was all right. And then it started off good, and then it kind of lost steam. It didn't really last long enough for it to morph into anything because you knew that it was just going to be a 3-on-2 beatdown.
Yeah, it just kind of went the way it was expected to. So Finn Balor drops his promo, basically says, "I'm coming as the Demon." Dom, being Dom, was like, "I wonder what he meant. I got a plan. I'm going to go talk to Adam Pearce." So he trots off, and like, after giving Liv a kiss, I'm going to say this. Like, I really think he's going to end up with Stephanie Vakir. Stephanie comes out, freaking flattens Roxanne Perez, right as Liv Morgan's like, "Well, Finn brought you into Judgment Day." Like, wow, they're already kind of getting that friction in there. And then, Liv took one for the team because Stephanie threw her into the TV, and Liv went all in, and she paid.
Well,
she paid because.
Have you watched the clips since last night?
No, I just saw the aftermath.
You can actually hear their heads hit. It's pretty audible. So that's
the
why
TV. There was no denying the TV. Like, you could literally see where her head impacted the TV, but it's a TV.
But that's not what gave her the damage. It was when she butted heads with Roxanne, because they both are in concussion protocol now, as of this morning.
Well, that's good. Good.
So, no, I think the TV, she probably
This is why you put them in bubble wrap. Bubble wrap. This is why you put them in bubble wrap.
Yeah, Stephanie's doing some heelish stuff. She's attacking from behind. That's heelish.
So Mikey was in denial.
Some people call it fighting fire with fire, but a good guy or a baby face can only do that so many times before, like, okay, that's a heel thing. Like,
I'm going to say a couple of things here.
Fight fire with fire is fine, but when you make it a habit, it becomes a trait. But go ahead.
So I'm going to say a couple of things here. First off, Mikey's in denial. He's not on board with my thought process that Dom is going to leave, is going to turn on Liv for Stephanie. Let's look at the big picture here. Liv doesn't need elevation. Liv's Liv, right? Like, and I'm kind of proud of that because, like, back in the day, you and I used to talk about Liv, and we're like, "Oh, she's so close. She's so close." You know, and you could see it. It was coming, but she was just so close. She was just a hair off on her stuff, and then she finally got it all together. So, conversely, let's not think of the Dom side of this. Think of the Stephanie side of this. I don't think, first off, her character is not well known. Now, Mikey's argument is that, like, her upbringing and all her challenges kind of precludes her from being a douche. And on the flip side, I'm going to say that sticking Dom with her instantaneously gets eyeballs on her. And this angle elevates Stephanie Vakir. And, like, you know, you can twist it like, "Oh, you know, yeah, I had a hard time and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I learned to fight my way up and take advantage of things." And just go that angle, because by doing that, you can have Stephanie go over, maintain the title. You flips Liv to a face. Now everything looks totally different in context, and, like, it elevates Stephanie Vakir.
Yep.
You know,
and the thing is, I think you could turn Vakir heel, because think about, like, God, look at Elvis Presley. Guy came from poverty, ended up becoming a megastar, and then, like, kind of fell into the traps of fame. Why can't they do that with Vakir? She's had to fight and scrap her whole life. Now that she's made it, like, maybe she's tired of fighting and doing things the right way. Maybe now it's time for Vakir to take the easy way out.
It doesn't even have to be the easy way out. It could just be as simple as, like, "I'm Dominic. I'm the king of the luchadors. I have your back." It doesn't even have to be romantic. It just could be like, I am the king of the luchadors. I got you. And then, you know, whatever. You know, so like, I mean, because he does play that card. All right, Matt, let's close out this show, man.
The show that never
contract signing.
The show that never closed out for real.
This was the wrestling equivalent of blue balls. And the problem is that, like, I think the problem is, to be honest, we knew stuff was going to go sideways. There was, you know, a contract signing that goes okay is in the minority, right?
Yeah.
The fact that this never, man, they broke the table in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, going after each other, right?
A contract was never produced.
And, like, it's good that they're doing that. It looks like they're going to be night 2, which is on the actual ESPN and not ESPN2, which makes sense because Brock Lesnar's a known commodity.
It makes sense to put Oba Brock on ESPN.
Brock is your most universally known commodity.
You put him on you put him on the free TV.
Yep.
That's
you put him out there, and then you get some eyeballs like, huh. And then especially with an opponent like Obafemi, you do that. You do that. You do that. I have no qualms about it whatsoever. It makes perfect sense. So we get, all right, so this never happens, and like we only get the briefest taste of the chaos that's ensuing, and we all know it's going nuts. Why on Netflix do we got to cut this short?
Yeah.
Why? Like, why? It made no effing sense.
I think I know why. I think this was intentional because.
Yeah, it was.
We're finding ourselves doing this more, and you even hinted at it in the chat. We'll just catch the 5-minute clip by either somebody on an iPhone 8 or WWE on their social media will release it, which
I said that because, like, what's the first thing you see? Somebody in the stands with their iPhone taking shaky hand, crappy video.
Yeah,
like, you can't hear.
Yeah.
You know, and credit to WWE, they put the crap out. But, like, why couldn't you just let us watch it? Like, are your social numbers so important to you that we have to go to WWE's social media page to get this crap? Like, just let us get it, because there was some great stuff. Bro, they were chucking everything.
Chairs.
Brock through stairs, almost took out one of the security guys. Brock through stairs on what I saw from the video clips, and threw stairs into the top part of the stairs into the ring. Obafemi threw the top part of the stairs out. Like, it was nuts.
Yeah, they were like,
and it was cool.
They were playing catch with the office chairs at first. And then
or shot put. Put. Obafemi is a former shot putter.
Actually, at SEC.
That is true.
So, man,
I'm actually looking forward to this match, by the way, like a lot.
I got to be honest. I think this might be the match I'm most amped to see on the whole weekend.
I kind of am. And the beauty of it.
This is like an Ali Frazier thing or like a Hagler. It has like a big fight feel. And I really think that Brock
this is Foreman Holyfield.
Yes. I think Brock got himself.
It's about the equivalent of it.
Yeah. Brock has got himself in great shape for this match. I think he's really invested in the story. And I think he really wants to make like I think Brock is in like probably the best place he's been in a while, probably in 3 or 4 years working with the business. Like I'm sure he's going to get paid a ton of money to make Oba look like $1 million.
I hope so.
I would be shocked
because if Oba doesn't win, that I said it in the text chain last night. I was like, "Yo, if Oba doesn't win, the Raiders ain't going to have a stadium to play in. Like, that's going to be bad.
No,
like." They're going to be on the streets.
Vegas will be looking
they'll be at UNLV, man. Like, there's no way. You got to put that dude over. But we're not making predictions this week. So, Matt.
I hate to use the correlation, but, man, does Oba kind of remind you of, like, Goldberg when Goldberg first came up? I mean, the way they chant Oba.
No.
I'm not.
Do you want. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying because that's my initial reaction.
Feels similar, except I think you got a much better wrestler in Oba and a guy that cares about the business more than Goldberg.
I think the difference is Goldberg never had a personality. And I think the best thing that WWE did with Oba was that brief moment with Kit Wilson.
Yes, because you got to see
that
like
was
the real
greatest thing ever, because it showed the human side of Obafemi. He's not just a wrecking machine, he's a dude. And he's kind of the dude with a pretty good personality that kind of shines through. That was huge. That was the best thing they could have done for Obafemi, because otherwise I'd be like, well, maybe he is Goldberg. I don't know. Goldberg could never cut a promo, ever.
No.
Yeah.
I'm kind of talking more about how I'm kind of more talking about how the fans.
No, they do, but like Oba's natural, whereas Goldberg was manufactured.
Right, I agree.
You know, like Shivani was like, oh, he's won like 15 since last week. He's won 32 now. Like, give me a break. You know, like that was so manufactured. Whereas like Obafemi feels like people are just on board. I might be buying the hype, man. Like, cause I only know what we've seen on main roster. So like, I fully admit that I could be wrong, and that like maybe he is like, I don't have a past experience, so maybe I'm a bark and seal on him.
Here's the thing about NXT. You don't hold a title in NXT unless you can really work. It's not about the gimmick, it's about the work rate. I think in NXT, from what I see, so if Oba was their champion in NXT, he can't just be like a punch and stomp and body slam and powerbomb guy. He's got to be able to put his working boots on. So I have a feeling you may not see that
this is going to be.
And Oba's going to just be a suplex, toss around, power match.
They're going to trade around power moves, and it's going to be a hoot.
Just go ahead and put a stip, no DQ on this, please.
No,
don't give it a
no. Keep it in the ring. You don't need to go crazy. Don't overthink it.
I know.
Keep it simple, stupid, man. Just go with it.
Yeah.
But speaking of just go with it, Matt, why don't you tell the people where they can find us on social media?
You can find us all on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, X, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And again, we've picked up some more subscribers. We thank you for your comments, some really good conversations. We didn't get as much out on social media. I had a medical procedure last week and was kind of under the weather and didn't feel like doing shit. Well, didn't have much shit left to do with. Anyway, you older folks might understand what I'm getting at. But anyway, again, you're going to be seeing a lot of us, too. We'll probably be jumping on with BC WrestlePod. We'll definitely be hopping on with Nick over at Nick. You can find Nick at Nick Teodoro, Teodoro, first name Nick, common spelling. That's his YouTube account. He's got some good stuff on there, and so you'll see a lot of us on social media. Again, we haven't talked about doing a post WrestleMania show or not, unless it's something big. But definitely, we'll get the times out to you all, and we'll by next week's show, which will be season 2, episode 1. I think we'll have some stuff more firmly put in place about times and what we're going to be doing for those. They're going to be short, though. We're not going to go on it. Matt'll try not to go into dissertations.
Just like this episode. We're going to try to keep it within an hour 42 later.
I knew we weren't, man, because there's just a lot of stuff to talk about. And I know this stuff I wanted to talk about, I forgot that. But, yeah.
I know. But we'll get it, and we'll have a whole fresh bouquet of crap to complain about next week.
Well, for a less than stellar week, we had a lot to talk about, didn't we?
Hey, sometimes you got to polish the turd, man. Like, it's great.
Sometimes it's more fun talking about the turd, too. Like, when everything's going good, yeah.
So, like Matt said, follow us, like us, subscribe to us. Make sure you turn on those alerts, because there's a lot coming up. Big, big, big show next week. Make sure you tune in, stream us, like, subscribe, get all that stuff. Some live content coming up for WrestleMania. Obviously, guest appearances. We'll probably have some guests of our own. So a lot of exciting stuff coming up here in the near week.
Hit that notification button so that way you'll know. Like, if we're doing extra stuff, it'll notify you when we're posting that, because I might put some polls and some posts up as well. So hit that notification button. That way you can You don't have to worry about putting it in your Google Calendar or not.
Correct.
We'll be your
All
Google
right, folks.
Calendar.
It's been a long one, but it's been a great one. We're going to see y'all next week. We're going to see you over and over again. Have a wonderful week. It is WrestleMania season, and we're on the home stretch, and we will talk to you next week. See y'all later.
See you next season.